The last ride of the black Volvo. Everyone in the mountain town of Barrow Creek knew about the black Volvo. It always appeared on foggy nights. No one remembered when it first came. No one knew who owned it. But everyone knew one thing: if the black Volvo ever stopped for you, your life would never be the same again. The car was an old Volvo 740, box-shaped and heavy, painted in deep black that never seemed to reflect light. Its headlights glowed faint yellow like tired eyes. The engine made no sound when it moved, gliding across roads as if the tires never touched the ground. People said it used to belong to a man named Elias Moore. Elias was a quiet mechanic who lived on the edge of town. He fixed engines, restored broken cars, and loved Volvos more than anything. His favorite was his black Volvo 740, which he kept spotless. He once said, "This car will outlive me. It will carry my soul long after I'm gone." No one took his words seriously. Until the night he disappeared. The last night of Elias Moore. On a stormy winter night, Elias closed his garage late. Snow fell heavily, and the wind screamed through the pine trees. A neighbor saw him drive away in his black Volvo around midnight. But Elias never came home. The next morning, his garage was found locked from the inside. His house was empty. No signs of struggle, no footprints in the snow except one set of tire marks leading into the forest, and never coming back out. The police searched for weeks. They found nothing, except the car. 3 months later, the black Volvo appeared parked outside the town cafe. No scratches, no damage, no rust. The interior smelled like cold metal and burned oil. The keys were still in the ignition. But Elias was nowhere to be found. After that, the car began appearing at night. The first encounter. Samir had just finished his late shift at the gas station when he saw it. The fog was thick, swallowing the road in white silence. His phone had no signal. His bike chain had snapped 5 kilometers from home. Then the headlights appeared. Soft yellow lights cut through the fog. The black Volvo rolled slowly toward him and stopped. The driver's window slid down. Inside sat a man wearing a dark coat and gloves. His face was pale and stiff, like wax. His eyes never blinked. "You look cold," the man said softly. "Get in." Samir hesitated. Something felt wrong. The engine wasn't running. There was no breath fogging the air inside the car. But the cold was biting into his bones. So he opened the door. The inside was warmer than it should have been. The dashboard lights glowed dimly. The smell of oil filled his nose. "Where are you headed?" the man asked. "Barrow Creek," Samir replied. The man smiled, but only with his mouth. His eyes stayed empty. "So am I." The Volvo moved forward without a sound. They drove for 10 minutes. Then 20. Then an hour. Samir realized they had passed the same broken tree 3 times. "We're going in circles," Samir said. The driver didn't answer. The road ahead stretched endlessly, twisting into darkness. The fog grew thicker. Samir tried to open the door. It wouldn't move. "Let me out," Samir said, his voice shaking. The driver turned his head slowly. "You already are," he whispered. The dashboard clock flickered. Then everything went black. The return. 3 days later, Samir was found standing in the middle of the highway. He was alive, but he was different. His hair had turned white. His eyes were hollow. He didn't remember his family. He didn't remember his job. He only repeated one sentence again and again. "The car is still driving." Doctors said it was shock. The town knew better. The town's secret. Old Mrs. Hawthorne, the oldest woman in Barrow Creek, finally spoke. She said the Volvo was cursed. Decades ago, before the town existed, the road was built over an ancient burial ground. The spirits were restless. They didn't like being disturbed. Elias, unknowingly, rebuilt his Volvo using metal from an old crashed truck that had carried bodies from a forgotten disaster. The car became a vessel. Not for Elias, for something else. The Volvo didn't need fuel. It didn't need a driver. It only needed passengers. The second victim, a college student named Arjun, was driving through Barrow Creek on his way to the city. His GPS failed. His phone died. The fog closed in. Then he saw the Volvo parked on the roadside. The hood was open. A man stood beside it, waving. Arjun stopped. "Car trouble?" he asked. The man nodded. "Battery died. Could you give me a jump?" Arjun stepped out. The moment he touched the hood, his vision blurred. The air turned icy. The man grabbed his wrist with fingers that felt like frozen steel. "Thank you," the man said. "I needed a new one." Arjun screamed. The fog swallowed the sound. His car was later found abandoned. The Volvo was gone. The girl who followed the tracks. A local teenager named Aisha refused to believe the stories. She loved mysteries. She loved danger. She thought the town was exaggerating. One night, she followed the tire tracks. They led into the forest. Deeper and deeper. The trees grew twisted. The air smelled like rust. The ground turned black. Then she saw it. The Volvo stood in a clearing. The headlights turned on by themselves. The doors opened. She stepped back. The radio turned on. A voice whispered through static. "Come home." Aisha ran. Behind her, she heard the engine start. She never looked back. She made it to town before dawn, shaking and pale. She never went into the forest again. The truth beneath the hood. A mechanic named Bilal finally dared to inspect the car when it appeared in his shop parking lot. The doors unlocked by themselves. Inside, he found no engine. No battery. No fuel tank. Only wires twisted like veins. And something beating beneath the hood. A slow, heavy heartbeat. Thump, thump, thump. Bilal slammed the hood shut. The Volvo's headlights flashed. The horn screamed. The car rolled backward on its own and vanished into the fog. Bilal quit his job the next day. The last ride. One winter night, the Volvo stopped outside the hospital. A nurse saw a man sitting inside. He looked just like Elias Moore. Same face, same eyes, but younger, healthier. The man waved. The nurse felt her feet moving toward the car without her permission. The door opened. Warm air rushed out. She stepped inside. The door closed. The headlights turned on. The Volvo drove into the fog. It was never seen again. The road still waits. To this day, people avoid the mountain road after sunset. Truck drivers refuse to stop if they see yellow headlights in the fog. No one accepts rides from strangers. And no one, under any circumstances, follows tire tracks into the forest. Because sometimes, on quiet nights, you can still hear an engine that isn't there. You can still see headlights with no driver. And if the black Volvo ever slows down beside you, don't look inside, don't answer, and never get in, because the road never ends. And the car is still driving.